Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another review video on my channel. Thanks for joining me. It's midday, we're in Greece. You're looking at the island airport of Mykonos in Greece. This is the Airsoft Simwings, 29PALMS scenery, not long ago released, and today's review will be looking at this airport in detail. So let's start with a few facts and figures. Mykonos is an island in the Cyclades group and lies between the island of Tinos, Syros, Paros and Naxos. It's known as the island of the winds because it does suffer quite a lot with crosswinds and hefty winds. So if you're going to land here, it's going to be a challenge. It'll be fun for you. So Mykonos, the international airport of the island of Mykonos, and it lies 1.3 miles or 4 kilometers from the town of Mykonos. The town is also known as Chora, which is the Greek word for town. The airport began operations in 1971, and there were limitations on the procedures during the high summer season and limited operating hours in the off-season for private aircraft and other flights. So December 2015, the airport was privatised along with 13 other Greek airports under a deal that was signed between Fraport Alpha Golf and the Kopalousos Group, they were a consortium, and the State Privatisation Fund. There was a 40-year deal, and Fraport would run the airport. April 2017, Fraport began managing the airport and announced a huge investment plan to modernise and upgrade the airport, and that plan to move all the way up to 2021. Now obviously things were affected by COVID, but what you see actually below us is quite a well-developed airport, and I believe there's more to come according to their details. Passenger figures 2019, they had 1.5 million passengers operate through that year. That's domestic and international flights. The airport has a single runway, 1634, which is 6,244 feet or 1,903 meters long. It's asphalt. The runway 34 is the main runway in use. Generally 16 isn't used, but runway 34 is in use. They have an RNAV or a VOR approach. 16 is used very rarely, but only during daylight hours and by prior arrangement. There are no published procedures for runway 16, it's purely visual. However, both ends of the runway are equipped with high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lights, and 34 has PAPIs, 16 doesn't. Basically it's visual only. So there you go, a few facts and figures for you. We're here to see just how well this has been modelled, to see if it's up to Airsoft's 29PALMS usual standards. I'm sure it is. I flew in here the other day and it's fun, and it looks like they've done some work to the island as well, but we'll see. So thanks for joining me. Let's get into the video and let's have a close look. So we start with a slow tour across the ramp. We're looking down towards the south, and let's just have a little slow look here. Interesting, you can see the fence. The ramp details are really good, apart from the vehicles and stuff, which are fine. You can see the ramp has got the usual oil slicks, bits and pieces. Again, you can see the signage looks really cool. There's the fire station. Detail's really good. It's really what we've come to expect. And there's a control tower. Let's have a quick look in the control tower, see if there's anything in there. Okay, so the control tower is not developed. That's okay, no problem there. As I say, the ramp area is good, plenty of clutter. A lot of bit of popping there, of course. You can see with the baggage trucks there just disappearing and reappearing. Vehicles are good, details good. Okay, it's a pity having a bus going right through the truck there, but they can't always get this right, and to some extent it's not really going to be a problem for you as a pilot. Let's just whiz down the airside road. Yep, it's fine. Couple of bags there. So there you got the sign on the top, and we've got the Globus 3000, or it's Corbus 3000 of the buses. I know what they are because they use them at Kiev airport, where I fly into quite a lot. Okay, stand number's a little bit blurred there. And as you can see, they've got the airport name in both Greek and English. I'm guessing the terminal probably hasn't developed. We'll have a quick look inside anyway. Let's see if there's anything in here. Right, so this should be the baggage room. Okay, so ground floor. Let's go up, see if anything is on. I think this is just the roof. Yep. So no interior development of the building, which is fine. Although on top of the building there, the roof, you've got all your air conditioning bits and pieces. Let's have a look landside. Very nice, very quaint. The features aren't as sharp as I thought they might be. I mean, I was looking at the new Edinburgh scenery by Pyrig Development Company the other day, and you had only got to look at his ground details and they're stunning. However, it's fine, it's perfectly acceptable, and again, as a pilot, you're not really going to be greatly interested at what you're going to see landside. But visually it's quite pleasing. Yeah, perfectly acceptable. Okay, it's not hugely detailed, but from what the research I've done about the airport generally, this is quite acceptable. So let's just pan out across the ramp, head out towards the runway. So you've got plenty of ground clutter. You've got the taxiway, the stand markings. Okay, they're a little blurred, but they're perfectly okay. You can see them quite well. Other bits and pieces. Fence line is there. Let's have a look at the runway, and you can see you've got the signs on the side of the runway as well. We will have a look at this at dusk and night time. But for the moment, let's just have a look. Most of the flights go in during the day. As you can see, I've selected clear skies with no weather, which is why the windsock is limp. Normally it wouldn't be, because this is a very windy airport. So we're coming up to the threshold of runway 34, and we'll go out past it and have a look. Turn around and have a look, and you get an idea what the view you will see as a pilot coming into this airport on most times. Couple of little buildings, bits and pieces here. Not sure how many of them are default or whether they've been added by 29PALMS. So that's far enough. Let's spin round. So there you are, looking down runway 34. You've got this little road that goes around the airport that you can see, and the fence line, and there you can see the PAPIs. And let's switch to dusk now and have a look at the HIRLS, high intensity runway lighting system. Okay, so you've got the PAPIs. Here's the runway. It's 7:30 at night local time, sun's just about to go down. You've got the PAPIs and you've got the runway end identifier lights, which are these green ones here. There's no high intensity runway lighting system at all. So this could be fun in the dark. In fact, let's just have a look at what it looks like in the darkness. Okay, so there you go. It's now 20 to 9 in the evening local time. The PAPIs are there, quite bright, and you can identify the runway, but as I said, no lead-in lights, and it's going to be a fairly fun approach getting there quite close. So let's have a quick look at dawn. Okay, 5:30 in the morning, and you can see lovely setting. Again, the runway's identified. And the PAPIs are nice and bright, so that looks okay. So this is the main approach, runway 34. You can see the mountainous terrain here on the other side, so runway 16 is generally daytime visual approach only. So let's whip it back to daytime again. In fact, let's take it to dusk and have a close look at the terminal lighting at dusk. Okay, we're at dusk. It's 7:30 in the evening local time, and we're looking across the ramp here. Quite acceptable. The ramp area is well lit. The lighting is in the right area, and you can see the runway itself and the edge identification lights in sort of, they should really be blue, but they're kind of white. These lights here that identify the edge of the airfield boundary should really be blue, but they're in white, but that's okay. Taxiway lines have no green lighting that I can see, which is, again, I don't know if that's how it should be at the real airport, but most airports have green taxiway lighting. However, it looks okay. Let's have a quick look at the buildings. Now here, look, as we cross the fence line, you can see a blue airfield boundary light. So now we're just doing a slow pan across the ramp to look at the lighting generally. Got the sign that's lit there. Fire station. Interestingly enough, quite a number of these other buildings are not lit in any way, which is a bit surprising. I thought it would be. For this kind of project, for 29PALMS Airsoft, they normally do quite a lot more than what seems to be showing. This is the general impression I'm getting here. Don't get me wrong, it's acceptable, it's fine, and some of the lighting is quite subtle. This is nice here, but the control tower isn't lit. The fire station isn't lit at all. Just going through this aircraft here. So this is quite nice. This subtle lighting is quite good here. Not sure if the sign is normally lit at night. Something maybe somebody can tell me in the comments if they live here or have been here right enough. So that looks fairly acceptable there. And of course the vehicles have lights on them, which is also really good. Vehicle details are good. The cars, the buses, no complaints at all. Let's just go this side here, because you've got some flags and one or two other buildings here that are lit to a small extent. Again, nice detailing on the fence line. Okay, so this is a Hertz building. Okay, you got basic lighting here, which is fine. And again, we go landside past the terminal here. And the lighting is perfectly adequate. Looks quite nice. There's your Hertz rental cars. You pick one of those. and Europe car. And Avis. Mykonos airport sign there is lit up landside. Now there you can see the entrances are nicely lit, and I think they're probably photoreal because they weren't visible during the daytime. So that looks like it's just sort of been added for effect. But again, as I've said before in many reviews, airports tend to come to life during the darkness hours when the lighting is good. This simulation is so good at lighting effects when they're properly used by scenery developers. So here we're just panning back along from the landside area. There's the fence line, and here you've got fuel. It's nice. And just looking back across the airport, let's do a quick pan to land to airside. So as you can see, perfectly acceptable. Not something that will blow you away. It's clearly not fly temper. And to be honest, my own impression is that this isn't as well developed as some of the other sceneries by Airsoft, Simwings and 29PALMS. 29PALMS are a good developer, really good developer, but they don't really have my opinion is they don't seem to have put an awful lot of effort into this airport. I don't know how much of that is due to the fact that Mykonos is a fairly basic airport anyway. Interestingly now, look, as we get closer, these boundary identifier lights are now turning blue from white. So this must be a lighting issue in the simulator possibly. But you know, it's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. Looks lovely, and this will be a nice place to come into in the evening. Just pull back a bit from the ramp. So now we can see the subtle lighting, and again you can see these lights. They normally should be blue all the time, but it must be a lighting issue around here. I'm really not sure. Let's have a look at the ramp during the darkness hours. Okay, so here we are, 20 to 9 in the evening. A couple of vehicles going around there hitting each other or going through each other, certainly buses and bits and pieces. I don't know if that's just bad programming or whether there's an issue with Flight Simulator that prevents some vehicles from doing what the developer wants them to do. So there you go. Right, and it looks as though, let's get down a bit lower. Just trying to see if there is any taxiway lighting. There's nothing in the middle of the runway, completely dark. So you would rely totally on your landing lights after touchdown. You could only identify the runway by the white edge lighting. So taxiway illumination signs there are acceptable, no problem there. Reflections are good. So here's the turn off, and as you can see there is no green lighting at all. So again you're relying entirely on your lights, but I believe, I'm not sure because it's really hard to find out. I'm not sure whether you have marshallers or vehicles that guide you to the stand, which may be why they don't have these green centre lights. But as you can see, you've got the runway itself identified by the white lighting, and the edge lights here that identify the airport boundary. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find the stand. And again, you've got your identification lights, which also help. Now the terminal looks really quite good when it's totally dark. Look, let's go in a bit closer. The terminal itself looks really nice, and the bus is there. All the vehicles, as I say, they've got headlights working and they're going around. Just zoom in a little bit more. That's nice, and you can see the reflections on the static bus there. building textures are quite sharp, and there you can see the green and white light on top of the control tower. Signage on the concrete is fine. So interesting that the bus has got lights at the front but nothing at the back. But it has got the orange obstruction light on the top. And it seems to park in the correct place. Just looking the other way, let's do a quick rise up and have a look. So there's the Hertz building. Let's have a pan across landside. Again, much more detail visible during the darkness hours, certainly on the outside of that building landside. So we've got a situation then. The situation is we've got it's really quite nice little airport scenery. The terminal is not developed inside in any way. Everything you need is there, quite acceptable. What I feel about this really generally is I feel that I mean, the airport is nice and it has everything you need, and visually it's very pleasing. It looks good in this simulator. But it would appear, my feeling is that 29PALMS just haven't gone that extra mile. Now this could be for two reasons. It could be, I don't think it's cost. Cost is fine. But it could be that the real airport is lacking in so many things. As I said, the airport operator, Fraport, announced a lot of expansion plans going through to this year. I should imagine that many of them probably stopped last year because of COVID. So I don't know really whether what we're seeing is just what's there at the moment, and therefore the airport isn't as developed with so many fancy bits and pieces that you would see in, say, Tenerife, for example. But as I said, if I'm honest, I get that feeling that they've done a nice job, but they really haven't gone to town. And I'm not certain about the reason why, and it could be, as I said, because the airport is not as developed as some of the other airports, or it could be that they wanted to release this quite quickly and so they did the minimum amount. I don't know. I know that 29PALMS, Simwings, Airsoft, they're capable of much more, but I just don't get the feeling that they've done much more in this product. So it's just before dawn. We're just looking across the airport here. Yep, it's way better than the default. Don't get me wrong, it is way better than default, and it's a lovely little scenery. And for those people who like to fly to the Greek islands, I mean, they're just under 4 hours, 3.5 hours from London. It's another wonderful thing, and we probably need to have a look around the island. There's no information about whether or not they've done any development around the rest of the island. Okay, away from the airport, let's just looking here at the port itself, at the town. Very nicely detailed harbour there with ships. This clearly has been done, so it's been added. This isn't default stuff, although part of it is photogrammetry there, you can see. Very nice. Harbour looks really pleasant. The ships are really good, the detail's high. Yeah, they've added quite a little bit there down in the harbour, so that looks nice. The ferry looks a bit box-like, but it's okay. Nice place to get the helicopter out and have a look round, I would think. So there's the runway in the distance and the airport in the distance there. Beautiful island, a beautiful set of islands as well close by. Certainly worth a visit. Just kind of giving you a feel for what's nearby here. Okay, so you're looking at Ornos Beach here, on the west side of the island of Mykonos. Just updated some information during my research. They've added 3 heliports, one of which is down here. And of course you can see they've developed the beach a little bit here. There's also 3 windmills and a lighthouse added at on the island as well. Research suggests that apparently 29PALMS have not completed this product, certainly because they are arranging a visit to go to Mykonos this year, 2021, in the summer, to actually take photographs of the bits and pieces and then update the scenery. Word is that they're going to update the lighting and bits and pieces on the fire station and the main terminal. So expect an update to this, which actually makes me feel a lot better. Makes me feel a lot better about this scenery. As I said, it did look as though it hadn't been sort of completely finished kind of thing. But I'm relieved and excited to know that they're going to go there this year, take some pictures and do an update to this scenery and possibly bring it up to the standard that we kind of expect from a developer like 29PALMS. So I'm excited about that, but as you can see, the island itself looks lovely. There are things to discover here. It's great. It's going to be great to take a helicopter out and have a look around here. Just really beautiful. Beautiful little island. So for the price of about €15, it's good value for money, I think. Price is perfectly acceptable for this kind of scenery, even in this state. And as I said, I feel a lot better about the fact that there is more to come from this scenery. Essentially, it's not quite finished yet. But they've done a pleasant job with what is there so far, for the price and for what you get. Quite happy with it, and very happy that I bought this. So this scenery, as I said, I bought it. I've not been given it free to review. Again, all the opinions and things that I give in my scenery reviews are my own. They're not been influenced by anybody else at all. And as I said, they're all of my opinions are my own, and truthful as I can be about the feelings that I have. But it is a beautiful island, beautiful airport. Yep, I encourage you to get it. And as I've said, now that I know that 29PALMS are going to visit this island this year, and that they'll be updating this scenery with more modifications, I'm excited about it, and I don't feel quite as bad as when I started this review. So there you go, folks. That's my review and my thoughts on the island of Mykonos, the scenery of Mykonos Airport by 29PALMS on behalf of Airsoft. Scenery is around €15. I'm going to put up all the prices and convert to dollars and UK pounds, rough estimates. Download size. It's available on Sim Market, or I think you can get it direct from Orbix as well as Airsoft's own shop. Do I like it? Yeah, like I said, it's perfectly acceptable. It's not as developed as I thought I'd hoped it would be. But now that I've discovered that 29PALMS are going to visit Mykonos this summer 2021 to get details and photographs to update this scenery, I feel a lot happier about the whole thing. So yeah, really, really nice. I like it quite a lot. So thanks for joining me on this review. If you like these kind of reviews, please like and subscribe, or consider doing that. It helps my channel. Hit the bell to be notified of when videos come out. I release a video at least once every Saturday, usually around noon UK time. Mostly it's 2 or 3. I try to release a number of videos at midday on Saturday. Sometimes I release during the week, but I prefer to sort of put on my website and give myself time to try and release videos that people are going to expect. If you've got any comments, please make comments in the comments below. I always respond to them. I like to engage with my customers, my viewers. To those people who have supported my channel so far, all 140 of you, thank you very much. Visit my website when you get a minute. It's VirtualAirlinePilot.org. On the main page on the front there, I usually put about what's coming up in the following weekend. So thanks again for joining me. Appreciate your time, taking the time to watch this, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. This is Lee, Virtual Airline Pilot saying bye for now and thank you.